Good morning, students. Welcome to Marudhar Senior Secondary School online classes. In this video of class 10th, we will discuss chapter 1st of Geography entitled Resource and Development. Before starting the chapter, we have to discuss about its name, that is Resource and Development. Now, what is resource? Which things can be called as resource? Can all things are called resource? Can all the things that is available in our nature can be called resources? This is a very easy question. How? Let's discuss about its definition. Everything available in our environment. It's mean resources. We get all the things, not only resources, all the things. What do we see in our daily life? These all things are available in our nature. As we know, we get different things just like as oxygen, water, minerals, food, all these things we get from nature. So everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, our means human beings needs, all those things which are available in our nature and they are enough to satisfy our needs, human beings needs. All those things which can be used to satisfy human beings daily needs are known as resources. But here our definition is not complete, does not complete. How it is completed? Suppose that we have to find out iron ore. Iron, from where we find? Obviously we get iron from nature, but we do not use iron directly. We have to purify the iron ore, because iron is found in ore form, in raw form. Before getting pure iron, we have to purify it by a process. So how do we complete its definition? As we see, we have to purify iron before use, then we change in it technically. We change in it technically so that we can get a pure iron that is usable for human beings. So how do we complete our definition? We add some more qualities, not quantities. We add some more qualities of a resource to complete its definition. First, I have told you it is technically accessible. Technically accessible means we can change in their quality and quantity technically by the help of technology. And the resources can be economically feasible. Economically feasible means when we represent that resource in market, then we have to get a financial benefit of it. How? Suppose that we obtain, the cost of obtaining iron ore is 100 rupees from nature, and when we purify it, when we process of it, and when we go to sell it in market, then its price become 150 rupees. the cost of getting iron is 100 rupees and the cost of final product is 1050 rupees, means 50 rupees are increasing in its selling price, so that we are getting a profit of 50 rupees. But where we the cost of getting iron ore is 100, and when we purify it, when we process it, and we get final product of the cost of 90 rupees. Now here we can see we have loss of 10 rupees. So in this case the resource is not economically feasible. When we get a benefit, financially benefit, economically benefit of a resource from the obtaining to the final product, the selling product in the market, we have to get a financial benefit of it. In this case we can call it a resource. Why can we call it resource? Because the resource giving us a benefit. The resource is paying us of our hard work. Now the next quality of a resource is it is culturally acceptable, means those resources which we can get from nature that is acceptable by culture, by society. How? In this case we see that the price is higher, the selling price is higher than the obtaining price, but we can purchase at 150 rupees, but where we say that the obtaining price is 1000 rupees and the selling price is 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees, then who will purchase it? No one, because it is higher value of this product. I think you are getting my point. So that what is the definition? Here we complete our definition. Once I repeat, which things are called resources? All those things which are available in our nature, in our environment, which can be used to satisfy our daily needs. Now the thing is able to change technically, it is economically feasible and culturally acceptable. All those things are termed, are known, are called as resources. It's mean we can say that in a short term, in other language we can say that all those things which are come to use by human being are known as resources. A thing that is not fulfilling our needs, that is not in use, is known, cannot call a resource. What is the definition of resource? Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs. It is technically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be called as resource. Human interacts with all three spheres of resources. How? First is physical environment. How human interacts with physical environment? As we know, there is only a species, that is human being, who make a thing resource. How? Only human can obtain the resources, human can obtain the things from nature. No animal, no bird, no any other species get things from nature. They get, but they eat them. They cannot use it as resource. They use it as resource, but they directly use them. They cannot change them technically, and they cannot fix the institutions. They cannot send the resources, the things, to institutions. Human get resources from nature, and only human can change it in it technically, and he sent in different institutions, different spheres, and different parts of our society, just as shop, mines, etc. So only a human being interacts with all these three spheres. Now here we looking about here we are looking about the resources. Now we have finished our definition, and here we are talking about the types of resources. There are how many types of resources? Is there any only is there any different types of resources, or one type of resource available in our nature? We have two types of resources. Which are those? First is natural resources, second is human resources. Natural resources means all those resources which we obtain from nature. Is known as human resources. In human resources, human being cannot interfere in their origin. But human resources are those resources which are made by human, just as structures, buildings, institutions. Now we can also classify natural resources. First is renewable, second is non-renewable. Renewable resources means all those resources which can be remake the resources. Suppose that we have water. Water is a renewable resource. How? Water renews itself through water cycle. We get water from rain. Suppose that here it is a pond or river. Water renews itself by the process of evaporation. When water gets heat, it evaporates itself. And as we know, the evaporation, the air is light, the warm air is light, so that the evaporation, the vapor will move upwards up to when it is called cool. When it cools, then it collects itself and become cloud, and it become heavy. When it become too heavy to tolerate, it falls in the form of snow, in the form of drops of water, it in the form of hell. So there are different ways to fall down, and we get back the water in different ways. So the water renews itself, we use it, and it remake itself, it regenerate itself. This process is called water cycle, so that we can call renewable resources. Water is a renewable resources. Why? Because it renew itself, it remake itself, it replenishes itself. Now what is non-renewable resources? Non-renewable resources is just opposite of it. All those resources which cannot renew itself, they finished when we use them. How? Just as minerals, metals, these are some non-renewable resources. Here we saw our definition of resources and types of resources. Now next is we are looking here the different classification on the resources, on how many bases we classify our resources. Is there one way, two ways, three ways to classify resources, four ways to classify resources? How many types, from how many types, in how many types we can classify our resources? Let's, before reading about the classification of resources, we have a line that resources are not free gifts of nature. Means human being is using resources as it is free gift of nature, as it is free gift of nature. It is gifted by nature freely, but it is not free. It is limited and we have to pay a huge amount if it finishes. How? We use water as water is unlimited in our earth. That is wrong. We have to use water in a proper way, because water is limited. The drinkable, usable water is limited. But in present time, human being cannot see it. He uses it as there is a lot of water available in our earth. So resources are not a free gift of nature as it is assumed by many people. We have to assume, we have to use the resources in a proper manner. How should we use? What is the proper manner? We should use resources as we are using it, but we have to secure it for future generation. We should not destroy all the resources in a particular time, because resources are not made for only a person, only a single person. Resources are available here for all human species, all human beings, and whole animals also. So that we should use in a proper way. The way of using it is known as development of resources. Which type of development? Sustainable development. Where in sustainable development we use resources, but we secure them, we save them for the future generation, the upcoming generation. Now moving forward the classification of resources. We have classified resources in four ways, in four manner. First, on the basis of origin. Second, on the basis of exhaustibility. Third, on the basis of ownership. And fourth, on the basis of status of development. Now here we reading them one by one. First, the first classification of resources is on the basis of origin. Origin means from where the resources took birth, from where they are generated. So on the basis of origin, on the basis of birth, we classified resources in two ways. First is biotic, second is abiotic. In biotic resources, we will see that the resources origin from the living things. The resources origin from the living things are known as biotic resources, and all the things those are non-living are known as abiotic resources. These resources, which resources? Biotic resources. These resources are obtained from biosphere. Biosphere means where living things are found and have life. As I have told, for example, flora, fauna, fisheries, and human beings. All these resources, yes, human beings itself a resource. We will discuss in human resources. Human resource is very important because only human is here to make anything resource, and no other thing has power to make anything resource. Flora, fauna, fisheries, these are the example of biotic resources. Biotic resources, all those things which are composed of non-living things, which are made of by non-living things are called abiotic resources. Non-living things means all those things which do not have any life. All those things are known as abiotic resources. Now give some example of non-living things from where we get resource. Rocks, metals, these are the example of non-living things from which we get resource. From rocks we get different types of minerals. Here we have completed our first classification on the basis of origin, where we see two types, biotic resource and abiotic resource. Next qualification is on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility means finished product. All those resources which can be finished or not finished after use, they are known as exhaustible. They are based on exhaustibility. In this type of classification we will subclassify it. First is renewable resources and second is non-renewable resources. Renewable resources also known as replenishable resources. Replenishable means refill, renew. We have also discussed before few minutes. Those resources which can be renewed or reproduced or regenerate by chemical or mechanical process are known as renewable resource. Recycle is a part of renewable resource. For example, solar, wind energy, water, forest, wildlife, these are the example of renewable resources. Next, non-renewable resources. These resources occur over a very long geological time. For example, minerals and fossil fuels means when we talk about non-renewable resources, we see when a resource is finished, when a product is finished, it will not generate easily. It will not origin easily. It will take a lot of years, a million of years it will take to generate itself, just as fossil fuels. For example, petroleum is limited here. When it will finish, then it will take a lot of years, a lot of time, million or billion of years it will take to regenerate itself. So that we can see petrol and diesel are very costly in present time because they are limited and the users of them are unlimited. Demand is high but product is low. So these are the example of the second classification of resources on the basis of exhaustibility. Now third is on the basis of ownership, where we see four types of resources, four types of subclassification: individual, community owned, national resources, and international resources. About these resources, we will discuss tomorrow. Till then, stay home, stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you.